100%.
Oh my god.
KRZLE.
Yeah. Charles. Yeah. The synopsis just isn't good.
This former independent ranch foreman.
Butterfly kisses.
Oh my god.
This is my favorite part of the show. Welcome to What Was That Called Again? I'm Thomas.
I'm Will.
And this is a movie game show where I select 3 movies and read their IMDb plot descriptions to Will, who then has to try to match the plot description with the correct title. And then afterwards, he also tries to guess the ranking of the 3 movies based on their IMDb star ratings. And I think we're coming off of a pretty good week for you, if I recall correctly. I think last week's episode was the first one in a while that you have not ended with 0 out of 3.
I honestly could not remember even what we did last episode. And for you and I, recording-wise, it was just yesterday. And I could not I was like, did I do good?
Yeah, you did.
I couldn't remember at all.
You did,
okay.
Because
I
threw kind of a soft pitch at you.
Oh, that's
and
right.
You caught it. And so you had 1 out of 3, and then on your re-guess, you got all 3 of them correct.
You got all 3? Okay.
Yeah.
So, but just... because I don't like it to have like an asterisk record. I really only care about that first. The second attempt is more for my ego and pride. So
Yeah.
the first one is all that really goes on the record. So really, I only got 1 out of 3, but it's still not too bad.
It's still, yeah. So I think for the last few episodes, you've gotten 1 out of 3 on the first try, like almost every time. And then you have a knack for switching and then
The wrong one.
taking away the one that you had correct almost every single time. Yeah. So
I have a knack for not knowing what I'm talking about. That's what you're saying.
pretty much, I think
For
so.
having
You're
failed logic. Yeah.
a knack for inaccurate reasoning.
Yeah. I have a knack for being an idiot.
Yeah.
It's a really nice skill to have, actually.
Yeah, and you're succeeding so far.
Oh, good. well trained. Natural born too.
Yes, sir. So some weeks we kind of have, as you and the listeners can probably pick up pretty clearly, some weeks we have a kind of I pick things kind of that follow a certain theme.
Right.
All 3 movies have something in common, whether it's they've
flavor.
all been directed by the same person, or they all 3 have the same kind of, like, they're within the same genre. They're, something like that. So this week is going to continue. You probably will not pick up on what the theme is until
challenge accepted.
Until afterwards. We'll see. If you pick it up, I'll be very proud of you.
Okay. All right. Thank you. That's all. That's all I want in life. That's all the show's about, is earning pride from Thomas.
Which, yeah, you don't often do on this show.
Well, yeah. No, I know. Yeah.
With that, if you are ready to dive right in, we can start with the first one.
Okay.
Okay. Your first film that you're going to be going off of today comes from the year 1978.
78. Okay. Awesome.
A comatose hospital patient harasses and kills through his powers of telekinesis to claim his private nurse as his own.
Oh, wow. Okay. So, because I was going to make a joke at first. I was like, comatose patient. And then you put a verb in there, and I was like, how? But then it sounds fun. So a comatose patient harasses...
Yes.
Who again? The staff?
A comatose hospital patient harasses and kills through his powers of telekinesis to claim his private nurse as his own.
Oh my gosh. A comatose hospital patient harasses and kills through telekinesis to claim his private nurse as his own? That is correct. That's interesting. I've never heard of this. I mean, it sort of feels like Soul Taker. I don't know if you've ever seen that movie. And only because like there was like comatose patients in a hospital. That's the only like connection there. Mm-hmm. But there was definitely no intentional murdering of people to claim a private nurse as their own. So I've never heard of this. This doesn't even feel familiar. This is completely uncharted territory for me. So
the like Will slogan that we have printed on T-shirts across the country that says
merch is available.
Sounds familiar.
This
Does
sounds
not
familiar,
apply to
and
this
then-
one.
Yeah, so on the front it says this sounds familiar, and on the back it just says this feels familiar, because they are different. This
Yeah.
one doesn't apply. So this one is completely new. 1978, a comatose patient harasses and kills through telekinesis
Yep.
in order to get his personal nurse as his own. Okay, that's interesting. I want to watch that now.
I know.
So I'm going to go ahead and pause the show and just go watch that.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
second
Yes. We're going to roll along now to the second film, which comes from the year 1971.
Okay.
And your plot description reads as follows. After a bad gambling bet, a school teacher is marooned in a town full of crazy, drunk, violent men who threaten to make him just as crazy, drunk, and violent.
Okay, wait. There's so much going on here. 1971.
Yep.
A marooned school teacher.
Yeah.
Question 1. Why? After losing a bet, he's marooned. So what was he even betting in the first place to get marooned in a random town full of crazy drunks who aren't just threatening him with violence, they're threatening to make him crazy and drunk.
Yes.
All right. That also does not sound familiar at all.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Okay.
It doesn't even feel familiar. Nothing in
Yeah.
that. That's just lunacy is what that is. So
Yes.
was I close on recapping that synopsis? 1971.
Very
A
close.
school
Yeah.
teacher who loses a bet
Uh-huh.
is marooned in a town full of drunks and crazy people who
Yep.
threaten to make him also drunk and crazy.
Yes. The only adjective you're leaving out is violent, crazy, drunk, and violent. That's the only thing.
Violent. So
but
they're
other
not
than
just
that,
crazy and drunk. They are aggressive. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. He lost a bet.
Yep.
Okay, that wow, 70s, man. Something else.
Yes.
Okay. All right, third one.
Your third one is going to come from the year 1974.
Okay, I think the theme so far is the 70s.
The aside
But
from,
that's
yeah.
but that's not my guess.
Yes.
I'm just going to go on that for now.
Okay.
1974.
Yes, 74. And your plot summary is as follows. After one of its members witnesses a political assassination, a motorbike gang becomes the target of a string of murders, prompting a cop to join their ranks to determine who is responsible.
So after one of its 1974,
Yep.
after one of its members witnesses a political assassination,
Mhm.
a motorcycle gang is threatened, is chased.
Become the target of a string
Become
of
the target.
murders.
Yeah, become the target of murders, and a cop is forced to join their ranks to help to solve this case. Yeah, that also does not feel familiar. I think this is the first time I can safely say none of these. I mean, the first, like I said, the first one sort of reminded me of Soul Taker, but I knew it wasn't, so I won't even say it feels familiar. But none of these really feel or even sound familiar to me at all. I mean, there's clearly like a common thread of like horror, not horror, sorry, more violent action, I'll say. There's a theme of murder.
I did want to say also, I have not seen any of these three, actually. I have been well aware and have wanted to watch two of these three, but the third one I was not really familiar with and only discovered it while trying to find a third movie for this episode.
Oh, interesting. So let me try to recap from the beginning. So the first one is 1978, and it was about a comatose patient who harasses and kills through telekinesis in order to get his private nurse as his own.
Correct.
The second one was 1971.
Yep.
A teacher loses a bet and is marooned in a town full of violent, crazy drunks who threaten to make him violent, crazy, and drunk.
Yes.
So weird. And then the third movie is 1974, and it was about a biker who witnessed a political assassination. His gang is then targeted in a string of murders, and there's a cop who must join the ranks of this biker gang in order to solve the crime.
You are correct.
And they're all in the 70s.
Yep.
And they all take place. I mean, it feels as is the theme something like person does something
No.
without them knowing it.
No.
Okay. Is the theme all the same actor?
No.
Same director?
No.
Okay. Okay. We'll come back to this part of the show later on. Just don't tell me yet. I still want to try to piece together what the theme is. Maybe the listeners can already guess, or maybe they can play along. Okay. I think I'm ready. Man, that teacher one. Like, what kind of bet do you make that the loss is we're going to maroon you in this random town with a bunch of drunks and violent drunks who probably won't do anything to you except make you want to also be violent and drunk. So, one, what town is that? Where does this town, like, what is this town like during the day? You know, like, what is there commerce? Is there normal things going on? So that one's going to really keep my attention, this thing, for the rest of the episode, because that one's crazy. Go ahead and give me all three titles.
Okay. The first title that I'm going to give you to work with is going to be Stone.
Stone. Stone.
Stone. Stone.
Yeah, that's somebody's name, I bet. Stone. In the blazing summer night, English teacher by day, Mike Stone, loses a bet and is forced to go to a drunken crazy town.
Mike Stone.
Will he survive? Find out this summer.
Will he make it out sober?
Or will he become violent, crazy, and drunk?
Just like the very townspeople where he is.
Where he lost a bet he had to go. He will no longer play canasta. Stone.
Rated PG-13.
Yeah, rated PG. Okay, Stone. So there's Stone. Next.
Your second title,
I swear if the next title is like water or like sand or some like elemental thing.
Wind.
This summer, Mike Wind goes to crazy.
It's all Mike with an elemental last name. It's every character.
Everyone.
Your second title is going to be Patrick.
Oh, God. Okay, that's almost as bad. Patrick. It's just one name. It's
Yeah.
one name only theme. The theme is all these have one name. Patrick. Oh, my gosh. Where could this even fit? Patrick. Patrick does not sound like a biker name. That doesn't sound like, hey Patrick, you want to get on the hog? It could be a teacher's name. Or the first one, which was just the comatose patient. His name is Patrick. I can see like the trailer now. Like it starts off where it's just like a close up of like the heart monitor going, beep 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 or whatever, and it's like the little green line, and it's like Patrick was comatose, or was he?
Patrick is undergoing treatment.
And then it's like a bunch of screaming and like thrashing and all that kind of stuff, and then a bunch of jump cuts and zooms. And this summer, Patrick does more in his sleep than he does when he's awake.
They think he's helpless. He cannot feel. He cannot see. He cannot speak.
Hello? Is anybody in there?
Patrick's secret is the enormous power of his mind.
Coming
So
soon.
you've become quite productive in here, Patrick.
Patrick, you're supposed to be comatose. Are you lying? This summer, a week after Stone, go see Patrick. Even though they're different years. It's a re-release. People just go to the movies. It's the 70s.
What have they been doing to you?
Patrick. A chilling investigation. Beyond medicine.
Okay, so we got Stone and Patrick. What's the third one? Wait, let me guess. Is it like fucking Trevor or something? What is this?
Donald. No, your third title is Wake in Fright.
Oh, okay. Wake and Fright. I mean, if that's not on the nose for the comatose patient that's using telekinesis, I can't imagine it fitting anything else. Wake and Fright? Is it Wake and, or is it Wake ampersand?
Wake in I-N. Wake in Fright.
Oh, Wake in Fright.
Yeah.
Oh, Wake in Fright. It doesn't feel like the biker thing, though, still. That doesn't feel like a political science, not science, but a political assassination. Wake in Fright. Nah. Or is it the teacher who lost a bet? That's the dumbest thing. I feel like that one has to be... No. That one's not Stone. I think Stone is the biker one. I feel like Wake in Fright must be the comatose. But that leaves Patrick as the teacher. I mean, Patrick's kind of a teachery name, isn't it? And maybe he's... I mean...
It's kind of a teachery name.
Yeah, like Patrick, like you know...
I suppose anybody
It
could
could be
named
like
Patrick.
Mr. Patrick, or it could be like just his first name is Patrick. And I could see a teacher being named that.
Is this the Krusty Krab?
No, this is Patrick.
It doesn't say if he's a high school, elementary, or like college professor, does it? Yeah.
No, it just says a school teacher.
Well, it says school teacher, so it doesn't say college professor. So school teacher, so we'll assume like high school or something like that. Do you think his students know that he's missing? Like it happens like on a weekend and he doesn't come back to class and they're like, "Where's Mr. Patrick?" Because I mean, they wouldn't say, "Where's Mr. Stone?" Right? And then I don't think he's waking up after losing this bet.
Maybe he
this
goes
town.
gambling in the summer.
Maybe the town is called Fright. Maybe he just wakes in fright. Maybe he...
It could be. I've never seen it.
Maybe he... Are you saying he only gambles in the summer? Is that what you're
Yeah,
saying?
he keeps it under control during the school year, and then he lets it loose in the summer.
His syllabus keeps his addiction curbed. But as soon as that 3 p.m. bell rings on June 1st, man, he's just hitting the slots and
He's
card
pulling
tables
up
and
Texas Hold'em online.
just Vegas, just constantly in Vegas.
Yeah.
I mean, I do picture this town with these violent, crazy drunks. Probably is in the desert, right? I mean, they probably had to pick a place that was ghost town adjacent during the day.
Ghost Town at sundown.
Ooh, is that on next week's show?
That's that's like one of those, like Magic Treehouse or something? Do you remember those books?
Sure.
All right, well.
That's our
Move on.
secondary podcast of what was that book called again?
Yeah, that would be bad for both of us.
What are books again? Okay. So I have to focus here. Okay, so I really do feel like Patrick is a teacher name, and I don't mean to disparage Patricks out there. I also don't mean to disparage teachers out there. I'm just saying that feels like it doesn't feel very bikerish. It could be the comatose patient. Patrick, beep, beep. We thought he was dead. Beep, beep. But he just lays in a comatose state, lusting for the woman who treats him daily. Patrick, are you okay? I'm here to give you a sponge bath. Beep, beep. This summer.
I
This
like
summer, from the maker of Stone.
Beyond science. Beyond the 5 known senses. In life and death, Patrick is preparing his very own day of judgment. Patrick.
How your thought process of trying to convince yourself whether or not a title works with a specific thing is to just audibly create a trailer, and see if the name sounds like it might fit.
Well, as we know, my logic in the past, I've tried the marketing exec, angle. I've tried the.
Sometimes you just say the title in a different tone, like where you go like, Mr. Walter, Mr. Walter, Mr. Walter, and you just like sit there and you do stuff like that, and then you decide what title it goes with.
I mean, it's an audio podcast, but I really wish like there was a way to view the inside of my brain whenever that stuff happens. Well, because I'm just saying that like I've tried like the ideas of like what on a VHS in a video store would you put for a movie, but like none of these like Wake in Fright is sort of descriptive. I mean, it's still really vague, but it's sort of at least gives you like a mood or a tone of the film, right? Stone and Patrick don't without any kind of like visual element to the box, and even then, Patrick is even less. So, I can't really do like the VHS thing. I can't really do like the marketing exec thing. So I guess trailers are still kind of marketing, but I'm just trying to play out like what you would hear, like what sounds or visually you would see in a trailer for these movies to help make these titles make sense. So, okay. I think we're going to just go ahead and lock in. Wake in Fright is the 1978 comatose patient who harasses and murders people in order to get his private nurse as his own. Wake in Fright. I still feel like Patrick is a teacher name, so I'm going to go with the 1971. Was it 1971? I do believe it was 1971.
Second one, yeah.
Teacher loses a bet and is marooned in a town full of crazy, violent drunks who threaten to make him crazy, violent, and drunk as Patrick. Why? I don't know. Why? I still feel like maybe Patrick could also just be laying in a bed comatose, but I'll just go with that for now. And I feel like Stone is either Stone has to be the name of the cop who joins the ranks of this biker gang. So I'm going to go with 1974. Whenever one of its members witnesses a political assassination, a biker gang is targeted in a series of murders, and a cop must join the ranks to solve the crime. That one's Stone. Locking that in.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, and so with that roundup complete, that leaves you with 1 out of 3 correct.
Motherfuck.
Your favorite.
God damn it, I hate this so much.
This has become a weekly 1 out of 3, like every time.
This is so, because just like last week's episode, I didn't really have like a feeling as to like what ones, to change. Usually I'm like, well, I'm pretty solid on this one, so I'll just flip the other two. Is it Wake in Fright that is the locked in one, or is it Stone that is the locked in one? I don't know. So that means that, or God, I swear to God, if it's Patrick, that's the right one because of the teacher thing. God damn it.
I mean, it could be any of them.
Clearly, because that's just how math works. Okay. Son of a... Is Wake in Fright anything else? Wake in Fright. Wake in Fright. Or did Thomas just pick that title because he already had the synopsis for the comatose patient? So he wanted a title of another movie that maybe was going to throw me. Oh. Okay. I got to pick two. So, is Stone the name of the cop? Or is Patrick the name of the cop? Maybe he's an Irish cop.
Patrick.
sorry, but that's all I could think of. No, I'm gonna go on a limb, and I'm gonna get all these wrong. I'm gonna say Patrick is the comatose patient. So Patrick, for 1978, comatose patient murders using telekinesis to get the nurse.
Patrick.
Oh man. Okay, so I will go with. I will keep Stone where it's at. So I want to say, Wake in Fright is the 1971 teacher loses a bet, is marooned. Town full of violent, crazy drunks threatened to make him violent, crazy, and drunk because maybe he blacked out. So he woke in fright. And then I'm going to keep Stone as the name of the cop who joins the ranks of this biker gang to solve the political assassination that one of them witnessed. Do I have anything right?
In fact, you do. You have all three correct.
Oh, hell yes. So now tell me, was I verbatim recalling the trailer of Patrick with the beeps and the boops from the heart monitor? Please, if I was, insert that audio clip right now of the trailer, because I need to know.
Patrick.
You might even recognize the poster artwork. I love the poster artwork, and I've definitely seen it in a bunch of places. But
no, that doesn't look familiar. So
familiar?
I'll describe it. So it is the name
Patrick.
It is an illustrated sort of art rendering of a man laying on a hospital bed with his head propped up. There's a glowing light behind his head. It's very halo-like, and his name is in big, bold letters. It says Patrick. And across this is like what starts off as like a heart monitor graph, and then it goes into like a static type spark type thing. So I at least had the static or the heart monitor element right. I still feel like people just call him Patrick. Oh, Patrick! Oh no, my Patrick couldn't harm anybody. And then in his like comatose state, he's the most violent human known to man. Right? Okay. No, I haven't seen that though. I haven't heard this. Haven't seen it. Give me some information about it.
the only piece of information that I really have about it is that it is directed by a gentleman named Richard Franklin, whom I know as the director of the movie Road Games, which I am a big fan of. I think that's the only movie of his that I've ever seen. But yeah, Road Games is very good. Oh man, he also directed the film Link, which is a killer ape movie, if I'm not mistaken. Chimpanzee.
Oh, that sounds
killer
familiar.
chimpanzee movie. Yes, I didn't know that he did that too. But yeah, Richard Franklin is... Road Games, if you've never seen it, definitely check that out as well.
Can Patrick be viewed anywhere?
Patrick is currently available as a cheap rental from Amazon. It's not streaming actively or anywhere at the time of recording, but you can rent it for just a couple bucks. Stone, which is available at the time of recording on Tubi. And so this movie is directed by a person named Sandy Harbutt. And while this film was a box office success at the time it came out, the director actually never got funding to make another movie after this one. This is the last movie that they ever made.
Wow.
A couple of
controversy.
What this movie is probably best known for. For one, there is a character in the movie named Bad Max. And this movie actually is a inspiration to George Miller to make Mad Max a few years later.
Really? That's
Stone-inspired Mad Max, yes.
That's really interesting. Okay, so clarify, is Stone the name of the officer who joins the ranks of the biker gang?
To my understanding, yes.
Nice. Who plays Stone?
Nobody that I recognized. Ken Shorter is his name.
Also their last movie.
Potentially. Oh, this person, they were in Dragon Slayer, apparently.
Okay.
And they were also in Dragon Heart, A New Beginning.
Okay, there's a theme.
So there we go. He did dragon movies. And
speaking of theme, Speaking of thing, what? Okay,
That's why I've refrained from saying
I almost forgot.
what else. Yeah,
Okay. Oh wait.
'Cause there is
one
a
question
theme.
about the Wake in Fright movie.
Yeah.
Does it state like what the teacher was doing to lose the what? Was it like a poker game? Was it a what kind of gamble was it? It's a mystery for the ages. There's no way to find out unless you watch Wake in
Yeah.
Fright.
yeah. I don't see in any of the other IMDb descriptions. It doesn't say.
Okay, so maybe the theme is this all the same writer?
No.
Okay. Is it anything to do with the technical side of the film, as far as like cinematographer, editor, anything like that?
No. I mean, they may have similar crews, but that
That'd
is
be
not what I
amazing
was
if they were
going off
all-
of.
If they were all shot by the same guy and you just didn't know that.
It's very possible, I suppose. I didn't look.
So it's nothing along the lines of cast or crew similarities.
No, I will say that
It's theme related? Theme or plot related?
no.
Ooh.
It's more
location?
where they're from. Yes.
Oh, where they're from, like where they're
Which
where
they're all-
set, or where they're like their nationality, like their
Both.
my goodness.
They're all set in the same place, and they're all from the
Is
same place.
It can't be Australia because there's no way that George Miller is going to be that daring. If
It
if
can't
the guy,
be.
Okay, well maybe it is. Are these all Australian films?
Yes, these are what is known as Ozploitation films,
Ozploitation
from
films.
Australia. Yes, so Wake in Fright, the one that we've been laughing about for this whole time, is like it is known for being one of the greatest Australian films of all time.
Oh gosh, really?
It is very that one, and from what I read, Stone on IMDb only has like 1,500 user ratings or something like that. But what I read about it said that in Australia, Stone is like a classic. So Stone and Wake and Fright are both like, definitely Wake and Fright. It is a very highly regarded film in Australia.
I have
from what
several.
I
I have
understand.
several Australian friends who could possibly be listening to this, and I apologize for not knowing your culture more than I should.
And also, as two Americans, do send us an email or let Will know if this is accurate, because what I read is that Stone is a classic. Wake and Fright, if you look up lists online of like best Ozploitation films of all time, Wake and Fright is like number one in all these lists.
Oh wow!
Patrick, I believe, I don't know if it's as highly regarded. I know it looks like something that I would love, but I don't know if it's as highly regarded. And then I was struggling to find a third one, because the other Ozploitation movie that I also have not yet seen, but have wanted to for a long time, is from the 80s, and it's called Next of Kin. But I was like, man, that one wouldn't really work. So I looked up a list of the best Ozploitation films, and that's how I found Stone.
And you said that Wake and Fright was Donald Pleasance?
Yes.
Awesome.
Wake and Fright also contains scenes of animal violence, real
Ooh.
animal kangaroo deaths.
I was going to say, is it kangaroo or crocodile?
So what I had read is that there is actual
Do
footage.
they fight a kangaroo?
No.
Oh, damn, that'd be awesome.
There is actual footage of kangaroos being hunted and
Okay.
killed, and it says one of them at least gets run over.
Oh, jeez.
And what I had read, apparently there is a credit at the end of the movie that says the footage of those kangaroos was taken from actual kangaroo hunting footage. So it wasn't footage that was shot for the movie. It was actual kangaroo hunting footage that had been shot before.
So they didn't shoot the animal for the film. The film,
Correct.
The animal was being shot and just recorded somewhere else. Okay.
And it said the footage was approved to be used, and they used it as like an anti-kangaroo hunting message kind of situation, where
Like the bad guys are doing this.
like they included the footage of the real kangaroos getting really killed as a way to like make you feel gross about kangaroos being
Okay.
killed,
I mean,
and
that's a
don't
way
kill
to-
them.
Yeah. I kind of get the intention there.
Yeah, something like that. Something like that. Again, I haven't seen it, but what
Is
I
that
have
what
read.
makes this exploitation? Is that you have to like do something horrible to a kangaroo or koala?
No.
Okay, I didn't know if there's
That would be great.
dogma or criteria to this genre of cinema.
A kangaroo has to at least get punched.
Yes, you gotta punt a joey.
Either punch it or kill it, like anywhere in between. Something has to happen
Something has to happen.
where a kangaroo is hurt in some
Or even
fashion.
you just have to roll footage of a kangaroo without its consent.
Yeah.
Doing its kangaroo thing, and
Yeah.
that exploits it. Therefore, exploitation.
Yeah, so what I understood is that it's an Australian exploitation film. The only other Australian one that I was thinking of that had even popped into my head, which I knew I wasn't going to pick, was Picnic at Hanging Rock.
Oh
from
yes,
Peter Weir. But
Classic
I was
one,
like,
yeah.
I can't. That's obvious. That's going to be too easy. So yeah.
Well, I don't know if I would know the synopsis right off the bat, kind of like with
Well, I think
Reservoir Dogs, but I think as
Once
soon
the
as you say the
title-
title,
exactly.
yeah, giveaway, yeah.
because the synopsis on IMDb has to say something about like a group of like schoolgirls go for a picnic.
A group of non-gender specific, for the sake of the game, people were doing something at a geological formation.
And then some disappeared. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. You gotta rewrite the synopsis just to make it work for the game. Yeah. Hey, so can you do you have handy this list of exploitation films just to roll off?
Why, yes, Will. In fact, I do.
This doesn't sound like it was set up at all.
Coming directly from The Guardian, we have a randomly numbered the 17 greatest exploitation movies.
Well, because in the southern hemisphere, lists only go to 17.
And so we're looking for the top
17,
five,
34, right? And then whatever comes after. Math.
Okay, so if I'm looking for the top five, funny enough, I will mention Patrick just does not make the cut for the top five. It is number 6.
Ooh, Patrick. Sorry.
So
What about next time?
Number 5 is the other Richard Franklin aforementioned Road Games. Number 4 is the film Long Weekend.
I've heard of that, I think.
Number 3 is Dead End Drive-In.
Nice title.
Number 2, they kind of cheat a little bit, but number 2, they have Mad Max and The Road Warrior combined.
Okay.
And number 1, Wake in Fright.
And then just for funsies, what's number 17?
Number 17 on the list, again, from The Guardian.
Are there only 17 exploitation films? Is that what we're finding out?
It's funny. This article is the 17 greatest exploitation movies sorted. And then you scroll down, and it starts at number 15. There is no...
16 and 17 didn't even make the cut. Some of them are doubled.
Number 2 has Mad Max and The Road Warrior,
Could
and
have
number
16.
Number 15 is 2 different movies, so I think
Okay,
that's
what
why.
are they?
Alvin Purple from 1973, and The Naked Bunyip from 1970.
All right, if anyone out there has seen those films and think they deserve a higher spot on the Guardian's list of 15/17 greatest exploitation films, please write in and let us know.
Yes, send us an email at wwtcapod@protonmail.com. But anyway, okay, so
Back into the game. So I still have to do the quote and the ranking on IMDb.
you still need to rank these, yes. What do you think?
Okay.
Take a guess at how they're ranked, and then
You said that
guess
one
the
of them,
order.
I can't remember which one now. You said that one of them only had like 1,500 views or 1,500 submissions, so that's kind of low. And I'm going to guess because they're exploitation, and maybe that's a genre that isn't as well known. So maybe they're all fairly kind of lowish in comparison to maybe some of the other episodes we've had. So let's see here. So I think what I'm saying is that I think that the people who have sought these out have done so because this is a preferred type of movie. So the rankings are going to be maybe a little bit higher than what they were if it was more of a general or larger audience. So I'll go ahead and try to get my range. I think the range here, there's they're the exploitation type of films. So maybe they're not that, but these are higher on the list you just gave. So maybe these are higher. Okay, so anyway, I think the range is probably mid-6 to mid-7, and maybe mid-7 too high. So maybe it's all like mid-6, that range. So fairly, like slightly above average is what I'm saying.
Remember that the one was ranked higher than the Road Warrior on that list from the Guardian.
On the Guardians, on the Guardians
right.
list, but this is IMDb, so this could be different. And I also don't know where Road Warrior would lie on the IMDb ranking either, so it could be a 7.
Either.
Yeah. Let's see here. You said that Awake in Fright was like the number one.
Wake, yes.
Sorry, Wake. Just Wake in Fright was the number one on that list. So I'm gonna probably have to agree that that's number one. I will say that Stone is number 2, and just because Patrick is such a kind of like a weird, sort of sci-fi-ish, sort of horror, sort of just a strange concept, the whole telekinesis thing, and comatose patient, I'm going to say that one's 3rd.
Pretty good assumptions, because you are correct.
Nice.
And I looked it up, and the Road Warrior does have the same ranking on IMDb as Wake and Fright.
Ooh,
with
nice.
7.6.
Oh, right. So mid-7s. Okay.
And then Stone has a 6.3 at the time of recording based on 1,700 IMDb ratings. And then Patrick currently has a 6.2.
So I was close with my range.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. Now with the quote, and I'm so looking forward to this because I want you... I mean, usually I say pick your own character and go with it, but I think
Australian?
whatever character, it has to be Aussie. It has to be.
planned on it.
Okay, good, thank you. I'm glad we're on the same wavelength. I was just make sure that request was made audible. Okay, quote time, quote, or whatever the song was we came up with.
Whatever.
There it is. That's it. Cut that and loop it. There we go.
For every episode from now on.
Oh God.
Quote. All right. So your quote from IMDb. Again, these all come from IMDb. I have not seen any of these 3 movies. I can neither
I'm holding
confirm
my breath because I'm trying not to laugh already.
I can neither confirm nor deny that these quotes are actually said in the film where IMDb says, because anybody could just put a quote up. And the quote from IMDb reads as follows. Quote, "The aim of what you call a civilization is a man in a smoking jacket, whiskey and soda, pressing a button to destroy a planet 1 billion miles away and kill 1 billion people he's never seen."
Oh, I mean, that feels like... I mean, that was great, by the way. Bravo. Let's give it up for that Australian we hired for
Let
this
me do
episode.
it again.
Okay.
All right. Quote, "The aim of what you call a civilization is a man in a smoking jacket, whiskey and soda, pressing a button to destroy a planet billions of miles away and kill 1 billion people he's never seen."
Oh, man. Is that like the biker talking about politicians? Or is that one of the violent drunks talking to the teacher? So I've ruled out Patrick right away.
Patrick.
Is it Wake and Fright or is it Stone? I mean, just because you said like button pressing with bombs and killing planets or whatever, I feel like that's more in the vein of what would eventually become a Mad Max type thing. So I'm going to go with Stone as my answer.
All right, and you are wrong. It is evidently spoken at some point in the movie Wake in Fright.
Oh, man. Okay, well, at least I knew it wasn't Patrick.
Yeah.
And we'll have to watch to figure out which character says that and why. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'll take that. I had a pretty good run with the titles and the rankings, so I'll take the quote as a loss, just for the sake that you did the Aussie accent. That was worth it.
I hope nobody was offended. If you're Australian, send in an email and let us know how good my Australian accent was.
And then also, if you're Australian, write in and let us know last week how good the Jeff Goldblum was. Only Australians on that one.
Yes,
too,
only
though.
Australians, please let us know.
Okay, so I'm still really curious about what the situation was that this teacher was gambling with the bet, the wager being marooned in a violent, drunken town. Like, what was the setup to that? Is it something that they know the town is violent and drunk, or is it something like it was actually just like happenstance? It was like a bad side effect of another bet. Like the wager was that if you lose this, then you have to drive to whatever, and that's like 1,000 kilometers away. But during his journey, his car breaks down like 800 kilometers in, and it just happens to be in this town. So was the town the actual like focus of the wager? Or was the town just like something that he had to pass through? What do you think? Or was it like you had to like go run naked through this town for like 15 seconds? Like if you don't, play truth or dare with us or something like that. That's what I'm wondering. Like what is this? And I still also say this is my guess on how this movie plays out. Is that it wasn't during the summer, and that the way that people realize that he's missing, like his friends sent him on this, fun little dare bet thing, thinking that he would go do it and come back, and then they would hear about it Monday, right? But then he doesn't show up to class on Monday, and there's like a scene. Exactly, there's a scene where like everyone's looking at the clock, and like like the whole classroom's like full. There's like a kid like chewing gum and like leaning back in his chair, just like ready to leave, because it's like 2 minutes past when the teacher's supposed to be there, and this kid's always tardy, and now this kid's on time. He's like, "Where's the fucking teacher at?" There's that scene, and then like the principal comes in and is like, "We don't have a teacher for you today, so I guess you're just with me," right? And that's how we find out that he's like not where he's supposed to be. I think that happens, but let's rewind and go back to what is the situation. You said drunken, I think. No, wait, you said gambling addiction earlier. I think that's what you pinned on him.
Yeah, I did mention that, yes.
but I don't think that like this doesn't feel like this is like a financial addiction. This I mean like I don't know how Australians work, but maybe could be right. But it feels like this is more like a almost what we would call like a dare, or like, oh, you didn't do this, so you have to go do this type thing. But what is that scene that sets up? And remember, it's all Australian, and apparently there's a kangaroo involved that gets hunted.
Yeah, and killed on screen.
So is that happening? Is that what it is? Is our teacher supposed to like shoot a kangaroo and he can't because he's too attached to them, but his friends who are assholes and jerks can, and they're like, if you don't kill, it's like some kind of like initiation to like the teacher club.
Yeah, go ahead and act it out. Let's hear your okay. Australian.
Yeah, I will. That was me trying. They're like, right. Hey, they were originally from England. I'm going way back. I'm going back to like when this place was colonized, right, with criminals. So fuck off. You didn't give me a date to work with. We assume it's set in
Come on now,
1970s.
don't be a dainty crumpet.
Don't be adopted. Yeah, this is pre-Outback accent that we all know now and love. Okay.
Oh, here's another a sidebar question. Does Donald Pleasance do an Australian accent in the film?
Well, he has to be playing the teacher, right?
I assume so. I
So
assume so.
man, I don't know. Is he going to do the accent, or is he just going to be like he moved here from England?
Mm-hmm.
You know, like he's teaching abroad or something like that. Some kind of exchange program for teachers. Hey, maybe that's what it is. Maybe he's not from Australia, and his fellow teachers are kind of bringing him into the teaching world of this place, this new culture sort of for him, and they're trying to be friends with him, do buddy things, and they start to have fun, drink and bet or whatever, and they know that this town is crazy with drunks who are violent, but a new teacher guy doesn't, and they're like, "Oi, I bet if we get old Donnie over here." Don't judge me with your look, with your look at my accent. But they're like, "Oi, if he doesn't do this, we should have him go to Montego Springs or whatever that place is called." It sounds very Spanish, not Australian.
We'll send his ass to Melbourne.
No, that's too big of a city. I think that they're wanting to send him out to a place, and they're like,
I don't disagree.
And they're saying something like, "Oh, you'll love it out there. Like there's great views and all this other stuff, right?" But really, they're like, they're like snickering and whatever in the background, going like, "Oh, he's gonna see all the crazy drunks." That's what I think happens, and so I think he is from across, overseas, I guess is the correct term. Still, he is from overseas. I can't imagine him doing an Australian accent, though I kind of hope he does. Okay, so we have the scene where he doesn't show up to class. We have the idea that his fellow teachers kind of pranked him into doing this, but it does specifically say that he lost a wager, right?
Yeah, a bad gambling bet.
So it does say gambling.
Yeah.
So a bad gambling bet. So do you think they're all just like playing poker? And
I'm afraid I can't pay this tab.
Right? Like you can't pay it, so they're just like, "Oh, well, you have to go here and do this." Maybe he is a gambling addict. Maybe he moved to Australia to run away from that part of his life, thinking that a new country would help with his changing, and then he met some of these fellow teachers who just like to drink Fosters, or what? I know that's sacrilege. I know Australians hate Fosters, but they just like to drink and have fun. And he's not wanting to feel like an outcast, so he joins them, and they send him to Tippawalla out in the desert or whatever. And they're like, "Oh, just go out there and bring us back a kangaroo pelt.
Go on out there to the bush. Bring us back a couple of roos."
couple of roos. There we go. See, clearly Thomas is from Australia. Okay, so I think what we're doing is we're doing to Wake in Fright what we did to it wasn't called Turkey or Bust. It was called Midnight Express.
There we go. Yeah.
Yeah, Midnight Express. So we're gonna set this scene, and then we have to go watch this movie and compare.
Yeah.
And we'll come back.
Which, once again, at the time we're recording this, it is available for free on Plex.
It's worth a watch. Wake in Fright, where Donald Pleasance moves to Australia to run away from his gambling addiction, only to find a school to teach at where other teachers like to have fun, and he gets roped into a seemingly innocuous game of poker, or Catawamba, as the locals call it, and he bets horribly, and they say, all you need to do is go out to whatever the town was I said earlier, and get us 2 Roo Pelts, which is where the hunting footage comes in. And during this journey, he is marooned in a small town full of violent, crazy drunks, where one of them talks about pushing a button and blowing up the world. And then we cut to a scene where his class is waiting for him to show up, and that's whenever we realize that he is in more trouble than what we realized, because he hasn't made it back yet.
Oh, I'm sure we're spot on.
Oh, sure we are. In fact, that's the whole movie. Roll credits.
He's just, that's it. He's just out there getting his Roo Pelts. And the school kids are just still waiting for him to arrive.
It's kind of like how in Airplane we keep cutting back to the guy in the taxi. They're just waiting there. You know,
yeah.
We just keep cutting back. The school day just keeps ticking on and on. Yeah. Okay. And what we come to find out is that this is actually the inspiration for Crocodile Dundee, where the Donald Pleasance character actually becomes Crocodile Dundee.
This is the prequel.
This is the prequel.
He grows hair, and
he was actually a school teacher at one time.
Gets a
and
knife.
He went into the bush, and he became a bushman, and that was it. All right, that was fun. Ozploitation. Definitely check out Wake and Fright on Plex. Check out the other movies. Patrick, I still want to watch Patrick because Patrick just sounds crazy.
Yep.
Those other Ozploitation films we mentioned, and maybe we can just for funsies, or maybe not funsies is the right word, but maybe just for the shits of it, link that Guardian link of that list in the show notes. Yeah.
We'll do,
because I think we get more eyes on this stuff. It'd be cool. All right. Well,
the 17 best Ozploitation films on an article that actually has 15.
That's right. That's how we do it in the UK. What was that called again?